Welcome
to the morning chat.
Fall. The fall of the upright in life is always a mystery. Though never willed, it is like a silent presence hovering around every man, waiting to dash in. When it visits, the experience is like that of a jar. In life, it does not matter what tips a golden jar from its ivory pedestal. When it falls, it is entitled to the same fate as one molded in clay. So it is that the fall of a man down the shaft of the abyss of adversity has no respect for his former self. Whether the good, the bad, or the ugly among humans, rock bottom welcomes all who lose their balance in the journey of life equally. When a man loses his balance, the distance between who he has been and what he is to become after his ride with gravity is often a brief one. When he lands at rock bottom, the heavy throbbing sound that accompanies his arrival is a testament that what has to be has indeed become. Among those under the sun, all who fall reach rock bottom alike. However, the earth does not announce the arrival of an elephant in the same way as it does that of an ant. Similarly, a village crier does not need to announce the fall of a useful baobab tree. When the baobab tree topples, its absence, sight, size, and sound make their own way to the village square. When weight is a man's attribute, the sound he displaces in wrestling with the earth attests to the kind of man he is. While the sound of a man's fall may announce to him that his state of being has changed, those around him often hear the same sound as the approach of trouble. It is thus natural that a man's friends take cover when his arrival at rock bottom hits their ears. Among men, it is normal for the living to bolt at the sound of anything that harms their kind. That instinct is a preserver of mortality. When the wise arrive at the village of rock bottom, they seek no acquaintances because often there are none. But even if there were, anyone visiting that village recognizes that in the world of the fallen, no sane man has the time for the indulgences of the careless. In that world, acquaintances become spectators and society repels like the meeting of two North Poles. Consequence is the only resident in that world fond of welcoming its visitors, though often with unforgiving outcomes. The worst to rear its ugly head in this state is self, a man's self. Not only does a fallen man notice that he can become an obstacle in his own journey, the visit of self also gives presence to his enemies. Self assumes the voice of his accusers and drags his will and spirit to the courtroom of judgment. The spirit of a fallen man breaks and his will shatters, not because of what has happened and how that hurts, but usually because of the knowledge of what still lies ahead. Desperation for survival for a man in a fallen state is grave, and the temptation to look elsewhere is attractive. However, in this state, a man's help begins with himself. It lies in knowing that anyone who denies where he is simply turning his back on his way home. Though a man's fall may be heavy, it does not mark the onset of tragedy. Disaster appears only when he forgets that where he stands is but a passage. As such, no matter how confusing the path may feel, anyone who can trace his own steps backward has no reason to raise a halloo for help in finding his way back. In this life, no matter how bad a man's condition is, if he wills it, he is not a candidate for exiting it. At rock bottom, a man cannot be helped if he is not ready to take an extended hand. The struggle of a man in the abyss of despair is delicate. Sometimes, even his struggle to exit only sinks him deeper in the same place. The wise among them, therefore, do not expend their energy sustaining a fountain with their tears. Instead, they fix their gaze on any spark that promises an exit. In this search, those who make it back to their feet know that the way out of any situation can always be gleaned from the way in. Good morning.
You've been listening to The Morning Chat with Dr. Andy Asamoah. Connect with him on all social media platforms. On Facebook at Andy Asamoah, on Instagram at Andy_Asamoah, and on YouTube at Impact Crew TV for more. God bless you.